5 years and still talking. This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hello, everybody. How are you? I'm Alex Bennett, and this is the Ramble. We'll be here until midnight Eastern Daylight Time. Right now, it's 10 o'clock. Well, it's 10:07, almost 10:07 here on the East Coast of the United States of America. And if you're listening to us anywhere in the world, just adjust for that, and you can tell whether we're live or not. Also, if you can hear us do this, we've got to be live, right? Yeah. Anyway, hi, how are you? Once again, my wife punked out on me. This is the 7th week, as I counted, that she hasn't been on, so don't count on it, ever. Okay? Yeah, she just, apparently she doesn't like doing it, so I'm not going to force her to do it, right? You know? Let me see here. So I don't have a lot to talk about, ever. It's gotten to the point, I talk about this, I mention this on any number of occasions, that it used to be that I could come on here and talk to you for a solid hour about whatever adventure I had that day. I don't have adventures anymore. The most adventures I have is something breaks and I have to fix it. Oh, wow. Oh. Yeah, it's that simple, folks. It's that simple. Let me see here. How far are we behind on the web there? Okay, there we are. Now we're up on time. Anyway, so I used to go out. I used to do a lot of things. I used to have a lot of adventures and people I would see and things that I would do and people that were interesting that I dealt with that day. And now I find as I've gotten older, I don't leave the house. Now, part of that has to do with, I've shown you at times this house, okay, this apartment. It is, how many rooms is it? It's, let's see, we got the foyer as you walk in the door. Then we got the living room. We've got the dining room. We've got the kitchen. We've got the pantry. We've got a bathroom, okay? Then you go down the hallway, which we won't count as a room, but let's see here. What did I go? Foyer, living room, dining room, kitchen, pantry, bathroom. That's 6, okay? Then the bedroom, okay? Then the guest room. That's 8. Then the studio, where we're doing the show from right now, that's 9. And then there's the bathroom over here, which is 10. And then there's a really large closet we have that if it weren't filled with stuff, and say we had a kid, we could actually make it the baby's room. Really. So this place is about 11 rooms, or more or less, 10 to 11 rooms. And that's a lot of room. It's 2,500 square feet. Yeah. It's bigger than some of your houses, all right? It's huge. And I sit here and I go, well, I can go out, but why? Everything I want is here, you know? I have all my toys here in this room to play with. And then I have a guest room where I've got a great TV set, and I can go in there and watch TV or watch it in the bedroom during the day when girlfriend isn't here and when she's working. So I don't have those adventures anymore because I suddenly realized yesterday, I went, gee, I haven't been out since Sunday. Or I haven't been out since Monday. That was it. I went to the doctor on Monday, and I said, I haven't been out. Oh, I did go out. I did go to work out, and then yesterday I decided I better leave the house and go work out, okay? So occasionally I go to work out. Do you want me to tell you about my adventures working out? Okay. Well, boy, is it exciting. I go in there, It's a place called Blink. Cost me $15 a month, and I go in there, and I don't rent towels, so it only costs me the $15 a month that I pay. Okay, and I go up there, and down there, and I book in, and then I get on a bike and I pedal for 25 minutes. And then I get off the bike, and maybe I might do a couple of implements of torture, those lifty things. And then I leave there, and if I have any prescriptions waiting for me, it's right next door at my Walgreens community, okay? But if I don't, then I probably go down to the store and pick up some bread and pick up some eggs if I need them and a few other things, and then I come home. Exciting, huh? Isn't it? And that's why I don't have anything to tell you today about anything. And the biggest adventure I had today was I always wind up having arguments with Amazon, okay? In this case, I bought a new air conditioner from Amazon. And it turned out that the one that I bought from a third party. It's very, to negotiate Amazon, you really got to be very careful to look for that Amazon Prime sticker. But I couldn't find couldn't find an air conditioner from them, from Prime, so I got it that I wanted, because they did have one that was a Frigidaire, but it was mechanical, so I didn't have the remote control, and I don't want to have to walk all the way over there, okay, in order to, check out the air conditioner. So, to turn on the air conditioner. But pushing my finger on a button might be too much for me, okay? So, anyway, I ordered this thing, and then I get a thing today. It's been shipped, and I'll be getting it. I don't know why they said this. July 3rd. What? July 3rd? So then I go on. I call Amazon, because I noticed that when I went to that page, it said, "Oh, you can also order it here," and it was Amazon Prime, and it was $30 less. And so I call them up and I go, "Hey, it's $30 less from you guys. I want the price difference." They said, "Oh, we don't match price difference on third-party stuff." Now, these third parties are people who it's kind of like you can order through Amazon. It's supposedly shipped through Amazon, but it comes from them. "Oh, we can't give you a price match on that." I went, "You used to." And they did. They would. They give you a price match on anything practically, but not anymore. And they said, "Well, what you can do is when you get it, you can order the other one, and then when you get this one, you can call us and we'll have it picked up and you can send it back to us." And I went, "That's too much trouble." And I just went, forget it. I said, "This is the last time I ever order anything from Amazon," which is a fucking lie. And I'll tell you why in a second. So I then go online and I go to the order, okay? And it's already shipped, okay? And it said, and something I got, "You'll get it by July 3rd. Well, that was the outlying date. I went to the order, and it says it's coming by the end of the business day on Monday. So where did they come up with the July 3rd number on that? So anyway, I just didn't. I'll pay the extra $30. I don't want to have to ship it back and all that. And it's coming by UPS, so I feel good about that, because UPS usually winds up coming to my door. Anyway, see, so that's the excitement that I have in my life. Monday was excitement in my life because I went to my doctor. All right. By the way, I spent. Well, most of it's insurance money, okay. But I spent money for the city MD, and then I spent money to go to my doctor, who gave me an echocardiogram, all because I had a hard time breathing. I was having a hard time breathing, and my throat was hurting and everything. And they gave me an EKG, and the doctor at the city MD didn't want to get sued, so he said, you better go see your doctor about this. I went to my doctor. He says, yeah, your EKG is always off, but while you're here, let's do an echocardiogram. Checks my heart. I'm in great shape. All right? But I come home, and I'm still having this problem where, I wake up in the morning, and it's like my throat is hurting here and everything, and I can't, I can't seem to shake it. All of a sudden, I realize, what am I doing every night? What am I doing every day that might be causing this? Could it be the pollen? Could it be this? Could it be that? My doctor figured it was maybe pollen, all right? Because he couldn't find anything else wrong with me. All of a sudden, I started to think about it. I went, this friend of ours, I got to say this, I mean, I guess it's highly illegal, but a friend sent us a little gift. And the gift was I wish I brought it in here, a vape. Not a vape pen, it's kind of like a vape something. It doesn't look like a pen, it's kind of oval and stuff. And it has cartridges you put in it, and the cartridges have, shall we say, medicinal substance, okay? But the trouble with this is, to me, marijuana, I always loved marijuana because there was a social quality about marijuana. More than just getting high, it was the sitting around with your friends on the couch and passing the joint back and forth until it got so short that your fingers started to burn, okay? And then of course, the famous word that everybody would say, ear. Yes, it was ear. It's not here, ear. Because you're holding your breath, ear. And you would do that, and it had this really sociable quality about it. But now you've got the vape devices, and I don't know if that has the same feel to it. It's just here, ear, and then you smoke, and then this tons of vapor comes out. And it was flavored. This one was pineapple, and then we had another one was strawberry, and I think there was another one that was, mint or whatever. Marijuana, it didn't even have a marijuana taste to it. It had this artificial pineapple taste to it. But anyway, I have trouble sleeping like most older people. And I got tired of taking Xanax all the time to do it because I have a low tolerance to these drugs, and I have, it takes me a whole day to kind of get over them. I took a Xanax last night, and right now I'm feeling like I'm reeling a little bit. But anyway, so here's the deal. I suddenly realize that maybe it has something to do with this vape, that it's irritating my lungs. So last night, I didn't do it because towards the end of the day, I started feeling, what happened the night before, I had done 3 tokes off this thing, okay? And then in the morning, I woke up and I had a hard time going back to sleep, so I took another 3 hits on it. And then I woke up and my chest was killing me. Apparently, the vape is irritating my lungs. Pot doesn't irritate my lungs, but this was irritating. It was irritating my throat and my area in here. So I didn't do it last night. I took a Xanax to put me to sleep, and I woke up this morning, and for most of the day, I've still had a little bit of the residual from that, but it's not bothering me. I don't have the problem that I had that I went to my doctor for and to City MD for, and it was because I was doing this fucking vape, all right? So I have to tell you, I'm feeling a great deal better today than I have been feeling in the last couple of days, and I think that's what it was, So anyway, so see, I do have my adventures, although they be illicit, all right? But it does take away, the way they're doing pot now with the vaping and everything. I don't want to sound like, I often wondered why guys who were my age were always going, when I was a kid. But you do say that because your life has changed unalterably as you've grown older. as you grow older, you start going and longing for the days when life was simpler. Now, I wonder, if my mother used to say, I remember when I was a kid, things were better, when I was a kid, I seem to remember, and the reason I guess why things were better is because my father went out and worked and brought home bacon, and my mother cooked dinner, and I was an only child, so I was doted upon. And I lived a pretty good life with my parents. They weren't rich. My father was always having to eke out a living. I always remember every month it was time to pay the bills, and he was sitting there trying to figure out how he was going to do it, because he was a musician, and then later on he was a real estate broker. And he was not the best businessman in the world. So being a broker was marginally money-making. But anyway, but I grew up in a middle-class family in a very middle-class suburb of San Francisco called Marin County, and life was simple, It really was, and it wasn't as complex as it is today, and it wasn't causing. What can I say? There is something that all the technology and everything is causing. And I don't want to sound like an old fart because I embrace technology. Hell, I do this every night. Do you know technologically what it takes for me to do this? I mean, Jack said to me once, Jack Bishop, who does a show after me, gee, I'd like to do mine on video. And I said, just stick with the audio, okay? Because if I had to stick with the audio, I wouldn't have all the problems that I have. But, I've been able to turn this into a TV thing. The stuff you see in front of you, like, for instance, when we have a panel, I put all that together. So technologically, I'm not a Luddite. I love technology and what it does for me. Let me turn the air conditioning down here. Let me see here. Because I had it up to 70, and I think I need it to be a little cooler. And let's turn on the. There we go. You can hear a little more. I need more air in here. It's getting a little toasty. So I'm not a Luddite by any stretch of the imagination, but you have this technology, and it's amazing technology. It's amazing what we can do today. And yet all of it has turned to shit because all this technology gets subverted by people who want to subvert it. If somebody wanted to steal money from you when I was growing up, they had to come to your house and break in, okay? Now they don't have to anymore. All they need is your password. All they need is some information, and they can just rob you blind. And to have this technology come to that, it's amazing that this technology can allow people to steal from you, but this technology doesn't have the ability to stop people from stealing from you. You know what I'm saying? So it's really turned into a real fucking nightmare, and I don't know if it makes me happy, I don't know if I wouldn't be happier if I just did this show in audio every night, but what I say is I decided to use Skype to talk to the people so we could have groups of people. Or actually, the reason I did it initially was I didn't want to pay the phone company to put in a line for people to call that I could then put on the air because those are very expensive, just if you do the telephone lines like radio stations did. And so I found this thing called Skype, and hey, that's a cheap way for people to call in. So I was going to have people call me, and I talk to them. And then I go to the next person, I talk to them, and the next person, I talk to them. But then I went, wait a minute, I can put 2 people on at the same time. Oh, I can put 4 people. I can put 15 people on at a time, although we never had that many people call us. And I say, that's pretty terrific. I said, I think maybe it would be a good idea if I did a thing called a citizen panel. So then I did that. And because I was doing that, it went from being an audio show to being a video show primarily. Because as long as I'm doing this Skype thing, and I only used to do the video on one night a week. As long as I'm doing the Skype thing, I may as well put the video up. And so, yeah, I found YouTube and all of that. First, I did it on Facebook, and fuck them. Fuck Facebook, okay? But, and it turned into this. And I made this thing so complicated for me that any one thing can go wrong, and I'm fried. You know, I'm just fried. A while back, Skype changed the way Skype worked. And having changed the way Skype worked was, you know, under normal conditions, you say, oh, that's good. Skype is, you know, improving itself. But no, it made it more complicated for me and more impossible, although it did allow me to change things around here and create a situation in which we could, you know, have this really nice visual thing. But that was a side effect of them doing something that fucked up everything I was doing. Anyway, what am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say is that I hate the fact that I'm 79 years old. I'm sitting here saying, these kids these days, you know, this technology, it's just, you know, and I get it. I get the technology. I make it work. I must admit it keeps getting harder and harder for me to grasp certain things, but I still was able to use what we call NDI to get all the pictures of all the people who are on the citizens panel up and things like that, so I can still do it. But the fact is that all of this has come to the point where I call up Amazon and I say, can you give me $30 off and match the price? And they go, no, we can't do that on a third party, whatever. And I go, in the old days you could. And they said, well, we can't now. And I go, okay. And then I got really mad and I said, well, this is the last time I ever buy something from Amazon. But I was lying. And why was I lying? Because it can't be the last thing I ever order from Amazon. Because if I don't order from Amazon, how am I going to get stuff? You know, there's very few places I can go to get a lot of that stuff except by going to Amazon. So this one shopping facility has me by the balls. And I wish I could say, well, I'm never going to go there again. That's it. I'm never going to use Amazon. Fuck you. I don't need you. Well, I actually, unfortunately, I do need you. And what can I say? All right? I need them. Anyway, let me turn things on. By the way, if you're listening, Jeff, if you're listening, call. You know, we weren't mad at you last night. It was just very frustrating. I had a frustrating day technically, and Jeff has a tendency to click the wrong things on his desktop on Skype, and then he clicked the thing. There's a thing down there that says share screen, okay? And what it does is it shares your screen. Don't touch it when you call this program or I'll hang up on you, okay? But he didn't know where that was, and it was a real problem. And I think I scared Jeff away, and I don't want Jeff to be scared away. Anyway, we got our first caller this evening, and
I won.
What? You won? Wait a minute.
I'm the first caller.
Let me turn you down here. You're a little on the loud side. Let me see here. This is Michael Klein, ladies and gentlemen. We will put him there. There we go. There is Michael should be there. Well, why isn't he there? Hold on a second. Let me put Rob Alfano there. Hold on a second. Let me go here. Why? Wait a minute. Hold on a second. I'm trying to. Oh God! I clicked on something, and you see it didn't go. There we go. Now it should do it. Okay. Do we get him? There we go. And then now we got to go. We got to get Rob Alfano here. We got to get him a space. Let me answer Phil Meyer. He probably will pop in the bottom. I don't know where he's going to pop in. Who knows? Hold on a second. Let me get everybody here. First, let's see here. Let's get Rob. There's Rob. Okay. And we don't have Phil. We answered Phil. and then he didn't get on. Maybe he'll call back. Here goes Phil. All right, Phil. All right, and we have him. I got to put him in the third spot here. There we go. All right, I think we got him. There we go. Okay, there we have 3 people already. We have Mr. Klein, Michael Klein, and then we have Phil Meyer, and we have Rob Alfano, who's walking around his house, which is kind of cute. Oh, there we go. How you doing? How you doing?
Wait a minute. I got 2 cameras tonight.
Oh, you have 2 cameras tonight. Wait a minute. I got to add somebody else to our group, which is Charlie Wallace.
Chuck.
Charlie Wallace. There we go. There comes Charlie. No, that's not what I wanted. Damn it. How did I get... I click on Charlie Wallace, and I get Michael's picture. There we go. And now I have to add Josh Wheeler, who is calling. Hold on, we're just getting all this ready, folks. And as soon as we
as
soon as we get it done, we'll be ready to roll here. This is let's see here.
I froze.
Rob Alfano. Wait a minute. Where is? Wait a minute. Hold on a second. I'm going to try for Josh again here. Sometimes the names don't come up immediately. Josh Wheeler, there we go, Josh 42, and he's there, and there we go. There's the crowd, folks, so far. Okay. Hi, everybody. How are you?
Hi. Busting the doors to get in.
Busting the doors to get in. Yeah, you know.
But I was first. That's all that matters.
Well,
yeah.
I called, and he didn't answer.
Now, of course, Michael has his camera switcher, which, you know.
Yeah. And I also have this NDI monitor here, so I can pull up
wait a minute.
websites.
Let me see here. Hold on a second. Keep talking there, and we
Check
can show people what you mean. Okay, show me.
Michael is talking, and I have 2 cameras and a website thingy.
Yeah.
So, you know, if we have something relevant comes up, I can go to the website and notice that it's, I flipped it 180, so it looks normal, hopefully.
Okay, the fact that you've got all this going means I don't have to do a show tonight. You can do it.
As long as you're here, that's all that matters.
Yeah. But anyway.
So, I'm glad Phil's here tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk a little bit about Trump's decision to not bomb Iran.
Did you hear Alex last night?
No, I did not.
Yeah.
The only reason is that I kind of I'm of the same opinion that as Alex, is that maybe logic prevailed, and even though they're saying now that he got information 10 minutes before he turned the strike around, which was how many people were going to die, and then he decided, according to what was posted, that it wasn't a tit for tat or a strike.
No, here's what happened.
But,
you're telling the story kind of wrong.
Of course.
What happened is that he asked, he about 10 minutes before he was planning on ordering the strike, he got a hold of, he was talking to the military guys, and he said, how many people will die if we do this strike? And they said, we'll get back to you. And they went out and they totaled it up, and they came back and they said 150 people. He said, well, they shot down a drone with nobody in it. And I don't know if it's a proportionate response to kill 150 people. Now, what astonishes me is that Donald Trump was this rational. Yes,
but he was.
Yes, Charlie.
Well, Donald Trump has never killed anyone as far as I've known to this point. So that was a big decision. Yeah. And I think it was, his humanity it appealed to. And I don't know whether the public should know that he did that. I don't think that was a great decision to make it public, but I think he made the right decision.
He's transparent.
Well, yes, Charlie.
And if you believe that, I have a bridge in New York that I will sell you cheap.
Okay, but if we
I
believe,
already bought that bridge. What are you talking about? That belongs to me.
what do you mean? Explain yourself, Charlie.
He's a
I
skeptic.
think it's bullshit. I think Vladimir Putin called him and told him not to bomb Iran.
Really?
Yes, that's what I think happened. There's no way the military would go on a strike like that without already having computed how many casualties there would be.
Well, there were reports
no
on
way they had
CNN
to go
that said
look
that
it
he
up.
knew 3 hours ahead of time how many people would die.
Before he ordered the strike, they would have told him how many people would die.
Maybe not in the Trump White House.
Okay, well, what I'm going to do here is I am going to give Trump the benefit of the doubt on this one. I'm so ready to throw him to the wolves every time he does something. And this time I think that there was a certain kind of rational decision. Now, that's why I go along with you, Charlie, that you get skeptical because this is not his modus operandi.
Nope.
But
rational.
but in a way, isn't it heartening to know that in this kind of situation, which we thought we'd all be dead 10 minutes later because of him, that he made a decision that was what I would say a good decision. Yes, Rob.
I think you're missing a key point. The point is that with any other president, you wouldn't have heard about all these mini steps, right? He would go to the military and say, "Hey, I want to do this." They would have a discussion about it, and before it became public, on Twitter or some other stupid way, they would decide, you know what, maybe we don't want to do this, and you wouldn't hear about it.
Well,
so in Trump's world, like Phil said, everything is transparent, so you hear what's coming out of his mouth. Immediately he wants to bomb them. But then, okay, he thought better of it after his people told him 150 people, well, they only shot down a drone. So I think the same thing happens pretty much in other administrations, just you don't hear it.
Well, what I'm thinking here, Rob, and please correct me if you don't agree, is that I think that he had to tell the American public what went on simply by virtue of the fact that we knew that a drone had been shot down, and now what was going to be the response to that. And so I think he would have had to have let the American public know, well, we're not going to do anything because, and then explain himself.
What you're forgetting is that there still may be a response, but that may not be the response.
Right. There might be a
But
response.
isn't this Trump's first real life or death decision? I mean,
No,
besides
he
what's going
bombed
on at the
Syria.
border- Besides what's going on at the border, I think this is the first really big decision about whether he could kill somebody.
He dropped the mother of all bombs on Syria.
You know, the one thing Trump said as he was campaigning was that he didn't want to get into another conflict like Iraq or Afghanistan. So I think that sort of thing guides him in his decisions as to whether he's going to involve himself with.
Well, look, let's face it. To begin with, he's caused a whole mess of problems with Iran because
Obama
Phil, will you let me say what I have to say, please, without jumping in with your "we hate Obama" routine?
I don't hate Obama. I just don't like his the deal that he cut with the Iranians.
He cut a fine deal with the Iranians. There was nothing wrong with that deal, and and if anything, it was a deal which kept the Iranians from continuing to build nuclear devices. And now, because we got, Phil, let me finish.
Put my hand up.
I know. I saw you put your hand up. Wait till I finish.
Don't wait till you stop breathing. Wait till you. Okay.
Well, now I've forgotten.
ahead.
Wait till the heart
Now I've
stops,
forgotten
and
what
then
I was
you can
saying.
talk.
So go ahead. What you had to say was so important. Say it.
Okay. The deal that Obama did put nuclear weapons in the hands of the Iranians within 10 years, because
Trump does it within 6 months.
No. Trump hasn't done anything within 6 months. What he's done is he's put such sanctions on the Iranians that they're trying to egg him into a conflict. And Trump is smart enough not to take their bait.
Hey, that's bullshit, Phil.
Bullshit.
That's bullshit.
Well, that's what you say because you're a Trump hater.
No, it's not that I'm a Trump hater. It's bullshit. The fact of the matter was it's better to have a treaty than no treaty at all. And what we have now is no treaty at all.
Just like we had with the Indians.
No. Just
we
fuck
really
you.
have
Fuck you.
treaties,
No
and
more.
they're
No
bullshit
more with that
treaties.
whataboutism. So the same kind of
That's
deal
not
we have
whatabout.
has nothing to do with what
The
we have.
treaty
Phil,
wasn't worth
shut up, Phil.
paper
It had
it was
nothing to
written
do. It had nothing to do with the Indians. Okay.
Look, the United States has made treaties. Other countries have made treaties. We had the SALT treaties for nuclear arms with the Russians.
Nuclear.
Yeah, nuclear arms. And none of these things really mean anything. It's all bullshit.
Trump Taj Mahal in Iraq.
Well, that could have been all right. And they got 2 for 1 and a free mini bar, just like down in Central America.
You're thinking of the Dominican Republic, are you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
DR.
Thank you very much. Phil, now can I say what I want to say and you can shut up for a while?
Remember what you want to say?
I think I do.
Well,
The
you're
fact-
still too stoned.
Oh,
obviously.
Jesus. I can't talk, Phil.
All right.
Go ahead. I'll just lay back. You
I was busting your chops.
You run the fucking show, okay?
Well, I believe that you're the first, almost was one of the first persons to die by use of marijuana.
What?
You hear you say that you had 3 tokes on marijuana and your chest hurt, and you've been sick all week.
No. I've been using that thing for a week or so, or 2 weeks or so, and that's what caused my problem.
Right. So,
The vaping.
You'll be the first person to die by the use of marijuana.
No, I'm not going to die from this.
Well, not if you
Okay,
stop
now
doing it.
be quiet for a while. Let some other people put in
All right,
there.
go back to your rant.
I can't remember what it was, but all I know is that when you have a deal, some kind of a nuclear deal, it's better than no nuclear deal at all. Okay? And what you're saying is that the nuclear deal that Obama put into place was a bad idea, but the thing was, maybe after 10 years they could go back to it, or by 10 years we will have negotiated a better deal all the way around. But at least we had a deal. When Trump pulled out, that allowed them to start re-nuking. Okay? So if hold on, you can keep quiet for a moment. If Iran renukes at this point, it's Trump's fault.
Let me ask you this.
No.
Iran
No.
had a deal with, 5 or 6 countries on this nuclear deal. The U.S. pulls out. But the English and the French and the Russians and the Chinese and everybody else who was in on this deal are still there.
I'm buying a little bit of what Charlie said, is that maybe Putin called him and said, you better not do anything to Iran.
Charlie's problem is it's too hot in Arizona.
You're ignoring something, Phil. Last month, Trump threatened the other countries that if they continue to follow the nuclear deal with Iran and kept not doing the sanctions that Trump wanted, that he was going to put sanctions on them.
Good.
So they've effectively pulled out of the deal too. They are not in the deal anymore because they don't want Trump's fucking them up either.
And by the way,
in the
Trump
deal.
today indicated that he wants to start talks up with the Iranians again.
Yeah, he had Abe from Japan
Yeah,
deliver a letter.
and they told Abe at the time, we don't want to do business with Donald Trump.
Yeah.
We don't want to even talk to the man.
Well,
He certainly.
it's just
Why would they trust him?
it's just the first part of the negotiations.
Yeah. Michael, would you please show us yourself and not all that stuff you're putting on the screen, because it's just it's kind of like
I'm reading about this horrible deal that Obama made. Doesn't look so horrible to me.
What doesn't look horrible about it? Tell us, Michael.
Well, it's under the accord, Iran agreed to limit its sensitive nuclear activities and allow in international inspectors in return for the lifting of crippling economic sanctions. And Iran had 2 facilities and where uranium and hexafluoride gas was fed into centrifuges in to separate out the most fissile isotope.
Okay. So, yeah, by the way, Josh has his hand up, I believe. Yes, Josh.
Well, if you don't like the deal that Obama made, that's perfectly fine. But I guess when you analyze this, I think it's important to remember there are really only, 3 things that, can basically be the situation. Number one, no type of deal or whatever, and the hostile nation of Iran possesses a nuclear weapon. Number two, they completely give up and don't possess one at all, or, which is not going to happen, voluntarily. Or three, you have some type of negotiated deal that is always constantly in flux, right? There's always this back and forth, but it's done to avoid a military engagement between the 2 nations, which nobody wants. So, I mean, I guess I'm just saying, what else can you do? I mean, it's the same charade or the same game that, the United States played with the Soviet Union for decades and decades, and I'm sure that there were deals, well, I know for a fact there were deals struck then that people said were, horse manure or whatever, but they were the only thing that you could do other than, start a military action. I mean, what's the alternative is all I'm saying. If you don't like the deal, fine, then say what other kind of deal you would do. Don't just point out that you don't like it. What do you want to do as opposed to that? And I'm not trying to say Phil doesn't know. I'm sure he's going to tell us right now, but I'm just pointing out these are the options that are on the table, and that's pretty much it.
Can I answer, Josh? What you all fail to see is that during the deal that Obama had, that was honored by all of those countries, Iran was a major supporter of terrorism through their proxies. Also, the Yemen war.
I call foul.
Syria.
I call foul, Phil.
You got it. You can't.
No,
call
I'm going to call foul.
Talking. You listen.
No, Phil. I'm calling foul, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm calling foul. It's because that doesn't have to do with the nuclear disarmament.
Yes,
that has
it
to,
does.
Wait a minute. That has to do with an
entire. He pulled out.
That has to do with an entirely different situation.
The deal was so bad. That's why Trump pulled out of the deal. He pulled out of the deal because Iran, when you lifted the sanctions, was getting the money to support the terrorism that was going on around the world that is being financed by Iran and carried out by their proxies.
Yes, let somebody else. Let somebody answer that, Phil.
If he pulls out,
Phil, let somebody else talk.
Let me finish.
No, because you've been monopolizing the conversation tonight, and other people want to talk.
All right, go ahead. Go talk all you want.
It's okay. I mean, I'm okay with what Phil is saying, and I didn't fail to see what he said we all failed to see. I mean, I understand the situation fairly well, and I was not always in complete support of President Obama's, foreign policy. I guess I'm just saying, even if Phil is correct, I guess all I'm getting at is what are the options? I mean, if you want a different deal, then what would you like the United States to do? I mean, that's what I'm asking. What do you want done? Do you want some sort of ultimatum put down? I mean, he's basically saying Iran is a state sponsor of terrorism. I'm not necessarily disagreeing. I'm saying, what do you want to do about it? Do you want a military engagement where people like myself need to leave the private sector, put on a uniform, go over there, and take care of business for you? I mean, is that what you want? I mean, I don't know. I'm just asking. Those are the options.
Yeah.
What happened to Phil?
I mean,
Phil's here.
Yep. He came back.
He came back. Yeah.
I went to mute and I pushed the red one instead of the microphone.
Boy, you're kind of a Jeff. Kind of like Jeff. Jeff, by the way, if you're listening, please call. You know,
Yeah.
what happened last night was a problem, and you know, just I even wrote him a note saying thank you. You know, I'm sorry that you know you didn't call back. So Jeff, please call back. Anyway,
You know, Phil and I, we don't always disagree as much as it might appear. I mean, I thought that the other night I played a pretty good Phil. You know, I managed to piss off quite a lot of Democrats while you were gone the other night. You know, so I'm just saying.
yeah, yeah. But you know the point is here that we're not talking, Phil, about their sponsoring terrorism. What are you doing? What are you making faces for, Phil? What? What? You muted yourself?
He's throwing a tantrum.
He's throwing a tantrum.
He should hang out with my uncle. He just had a.
Why don't we hear you, Phil? The mic isn't working.
I got to call back.
Oh wait, how can we just heard? We just heard you.
There.
Now it's working. Okay, I couldn't unmute it.
We thought you were throwing a temper tantrum.
No, I couldn't unmute it. I said the mic's not working. You know, it's.
Well, you were doing all the signs of the mic's not working, except you weren't talking to say the mic's not working.
Well, because I couldn't unmute it. It still had the mute thing on my picture.
Well, apparently it's working now, Phil. So,
all right.
So, no, I mean, forget about state-sponsored terrorism, because that wasn't what that's not what the nuclear agreement was about. Okay.
Right.
And that was something maybe that we could then negotiate later on. Let me bring something up here, and this is something that I've said before, and I will continue to say it again. Boy, I'm worn out already, and we're only 25 minutes into the citizen panel. The situation was that my argument is the president today said that he would be willing to talk to them, but they also have to throw into the talks and not ditching all their ballistic missiles. Okay? And my question is, they're sitting there, and who's their biggest enemy? Phil, you can answer that one.
Israel.
Israel?
Yes, I guess Phil couldn't answer that one.
Oh no, it's Saudi Arabia. Israel has no intention.
No. Israel has no intention. Why is it then that they have nuclear devices pointed directly at them?
Because they're being threatened by Iran and their proxies.
Yeah, no, wait a minute. If Iran,
it's totally.
Okay, but my question, you're not answering.
Self-defense.
You're not letting me ask my question. My question is, why shouldn't Iran be allowed to defend themselves and to have the implements that will allow them to defend themselves? Am I making any sense here?
It's a fair question.
Yeah. I mean,
because they're not in a defensive posture; they're in an offensive posture.
No, they're not.
Who have they attacked? They haven't attacked anybody.
They've got Israel. They've got Israel. They've got Israel. They've got Israel with all those missiles pointed at them. They've got the United States with all their drones and everything else. Why don't they have the right to have implements that will allow them to defend themselves?
They wouldn't have to defend themselves if they weren't attacking everyone around them.
They aren't. Who have they attacked around them?
Well, first of all, through their proxies.
No, forget about that. Who have they actually physically attacked?
Yemen.
Who?
Yemen. They're also in. They're in Iraq. They're in Iran. No, excuse me. They're in.
You don't even know where they're
Syria.
in.
They're in Syria.
And
I understand that over 600 American lives were lost in Iraq due to the Iranians that are in Syria.
And where did you read that?
It was on CBSN.
No, when?
Every day they talk about
when?
that. They have people talking.
In Iraq?
They bring in these generals and Air Force.
Oh, yeah. Like I'm going to believe the generals.
Oh, okay.
Well, what do they do for their life's work? If there isn't a war, they're not doing their job.
These are retired ones. And maybe Michael, with all his computer power over there, can look up how many American lives were lost due to Iranian
Why don't you type that in there?
fighters
type that in.
Iraq
Type that
and
in,
Syria.
Michael. Type that in, Michael. How many American lives were lost in Iraq due to Iranians?
Well, I mean, again, I hate to basically agree with Phil, but I'm a little hawkish on this and that. I do believe Iran is a bit, of a hostile nation towards the United States and towards others in the region. I mean, I understand the point that they might not have the need to possess a nuclear weapon if other people in the region did not. But the reality is that other people do, and I understand that they want to possess one, and I understand the United States' reluctance to allow them to possess one. But I do think there is pretty good evidence that Iran operates covert activities in Yemen, in Iraq, and other areas, to basically harass the United States and allies of the United States on a continual basis. I mean, have they put troops on the ground and rolled over the border into another nation and started a traditional war? No. But warfare isn't like that anymore, I don't think. I mean, we don't really see those wars anymore, So I don't count Iran amongst our friends.
Okay, let's
However,
hold on a second.
Saying,
hold on.
603 Americans have lost their lives due to the Iraqis. I mean, the Iranians.
The Iranians. Did you find anything, Michael?
Yeah.
No, just Phil. I asked Michael. Yes, Michael.
Yeah, I'm looking at militarytimes.com, and they're saying 608 Americans were killed by Iranians. More than Iran killed more U.S. troops in Iraq than previously known, according to the Pentagon. And this is as of April. The results were of IUDs and improvised rocket-assisted munitions.
Yeah. They are a pretty decent arms supplier to people that are not friendly to the United States. So, I mean, do they pull the trigger all the time? No. But do they provide the weapon and the training to the people who do? I would say the answer to that would probably be yes.
Alex?
I mean, an all-out military offensive might not be the option, but what we're looking at with Iran is a return to containment, right? Because they've passed a line that really can't be undone in many ways. So all you can try to do really is contain it. I mean, unless you want an all-out war. I mean, that is an option. I mean,
Jason,
but who wants that?
Jason, I mean, I need to run this one by Alex. Can you say Phil was right?
No.
The 600 troops were killed by
because the quote is coming
U.S. troops.
Because the quote is coming from the Pentagon, and I consider that.
Now the Pentagon.
I consider that.
Newsweek.
Now he's got Newsweek over here.
I consider that a prejudiced. But who are they quoting? Who is Newsweek quoting?
It was the Pentagon.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, okay, so you don't believe the Pentagon, you don't believe...
Iran was responsible for the deaths of at least 608 American troops in Iraq between 2003 and 2011, according to a newly revised casualty estimate produced by the Pentagon.
Mm-hmm.
Special Representative Ian Bryan, two first name, Hook. Anyway, I was right. I was right. Alex was wrong. He should apologize.
No, I'm not going to apologize.
What does this have to do with
I'm not going to apologize. Why should
I made a statement that 600 American troops were killed by Iranians, and Alex told me I was full of shit. And now, because of your good research, you looked it up. Alex was wrong. I was right. It's time for him.
You're full of shit. His point was that we're talking about the nuclear treaty, was it whether or not it was a bad deal for America, and I think it's a good deal. Has nothing to do with how many Americans were killed.
Because Alex said that the Iranians were not going into other countries and
I didn't say that.
Putting boots on the ground.
No, I said they have not attacked other countries.
They have not attacked. Well, I got 608 lives that say
no,
you're wrong.
no. They're saying that because of Iranian weapons and so on, 608 men died. I don't believe the Pentagon. I don't believe shit the Pentagon says. Ever.
Yeah.
Ever. Just like I don't believe what the cops say when they say, well, we didn't mean to kill that black guy. You know, come on. You know, am I supposed to believe them just because hello,
Mr. Brian.
Hello, Brian. How are you?
Not too bad.
Yeah, it's the Trump lookalike there with his blonde hair.
You know, he lost weight.
Only his hair is real. His hair is real.
That's true.
Yeah.
Trump, we don't know about.
I mean, the
I've
color may be questionable, you know, but it's real.
You got that Trumpy doll that you can put up.
But he also, somebody mentioned the other day, and it's quite right, he looks a little like Captain Kangaroo, too. You know.
It's the
You
bang.
get the red jacket.
What do you think about all of this, Brian? Do you believe the Pentagon when they tell you something?
No, I do not.
Guys, mates.
Not initially. Not unless, like, several other sources from several other countries or and whatnot confirm it. Then I may lend credence to it.
I should vest in tinfoil for you guys.
I am not making the same mistake I made when I was younger, and we were in the run-up to Iraq and Afghanistan, back in the younger and dumber days, in which I was an idealistic right winger.
How about you, Tony? We haven't heard from you tonight.
Oh, I've had an eventful night, but
What do you mean you've had an eventful night?
you know what? My Aunt Barbara just cursed out my uncle on the phone because he's mad I'm leaving. It was a whole thing.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second.
Oh, yeah, I'm not kidding you not.
This is more.
She came in from the Hamptons and she said he's a cheap fuck. And my mother's laughing because he's all mad. It was a whole. I got to tell Shekin when I visit next week. You got to get a jolt out of this one. Now they're all mad. I'm not staying. He thinks he was trying to say.
When you say you're not staying, so people know what you're talking about, you're leaving your job with your uncle.
Yeah.
And your job was basically, I know that you really feel bad about leaving because the upward climb of your career there was
I got tired of it, really.
was stalled because all you were doing was making boxes for hats every day.
Yeah. And you know what's funny, Alex?
You got a future at Domino's.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's going to be great, Alex? Yeah, the kids, he's worried about the kids, the son and the daughter. They may have to work now. So now they're crying a river to their father. Tony's out the door. You know what? Go fend for yourself, you lazy fucks. Goodbye. Says, you want me to stay? Give me a percentage of your business. If not, see you later.
Tony, if we were to be honest about this,
yeah,
how much money could you make just selling comic books?
More than I'm making there.
Well, then why are you there anyway?
I'll tell you why. I did my uncle a favor because he wanted to retire a few years ago, so I went back. I stayed too long, and these two kids are so fucking lazy, Alex. The real Tony will come out.
How lazy are they?
I will boot them out of that fucking place faster than their head can spin. The only reason why they get paid is because my uncle is paying them. Because if it was up to me, I would fucking fire them so quick, don't even come in.
This is like
a Republican, Tony?
This is like a bad soap opera.
So my Aunt Barbara called him a fucking cheap motherfucker.
Okay.
She drove all the way from the Hamptons to tell him off.
All right. Let's
She's going to call him on the phone.
All right. Let's move on to other stuff. Yes.
I'll tell Shecky next week. I got to tell him. It was good, Alex.
Yeah. Rob.
I'm not getting invited to the holiday party.
Okay. Rob.
Sorry.
Rob.
Yes.
What do you think about all of this? I mean, how do you feel about Iran and the fact that what we're asking them to do is be undefended?
I don't have I have not paid attention. I have paid zero attention to the news. Right.
But here, for instance, we do this to countries. We say to North Korea, you've got to stop your missiles. Well, I mean, what are you doing? You're saying to them, well, make yourself completely defenseless and we'll do business with you. And what,
Well, when we do that, don't we typically say that we're going to defend them?
Well, I don't
Isn't that
think.
what we did with Japan?
Yes, but we haven't done
Kuwait.
that. We haven't done that with. Nobody's mentioned that to North Korea. Hey, if you disarm, we'll protect you.
And they'll
The
say,
Chinese will.
Because we haven't gotten to anything like that with all the talk, Trump's bluster about his discussions, they're all bullshit. There's nothing going on. He's having discussions and the guy's playing them. That's why no real talks, because he's not going to get rid of his nuclear arms for nothing. So that's why there's been no discussion of us defending them.
Yeah.
He's going to sell them to Iran.
probably.
Subject doesn't.
I think
It just doesn't even interest me. I'm so fed up with politics, and I just don't.
So what does? Let me ask you this, because I think it's a good question to ask, because it's an important question to ask. What does interest you?
What does what?
Interest you?
Interesting.
In other words,
Cigars.
if
What? Well, you mean?
Cars?
Well, a lot of things interest me. None of it is in the news today. I pay zero. I'm at the point where I don't turn on CNN. I don't go to CNN's website. I don't pay attention anymore, because we've gone. We're in. What was it? In the Seinfeld episode where?
Yeah.
What is the opposite? The
Bizarre world.
Bizarro.
That's
Well,
what we're-
yeah,
That's a Superman reference.
yeah, that's a Superman reference. Yeah.
So that's what we're in. We're in Bizarro world, and up is down and right is left. And so all I do, I don't need the aggravation in my life. It's going to play out the way it's going to play out. And so I could give a rat's ass. That's where I really am with all this crap.
What I liked was Kramer when he made a call when he had left all of them, and they said, "Where are you?" He's in a phone booth, and he said, "Let me look." He says, "Oh my God, I'm in the nexus of the universe. I'm at first and first." and what made me laugh about it is I lived at Second and Houston, which is 1 block away from First. So I was a block away from First and First.
So there really is a first and first.
So yeah, oh yeah, there's First Avenue and First Street. And I went up there and one day, and I'm walking through there, and I looked at whoever I was with. It might have been girlfriend at the time. I said, this is the nexus of the universe.
How do you know which way to turn?
And that's right. That's right. Well, what I like is I would love to go to the North Pole, stand there, or the South Pole, stand there. And if I move in any direction, what direction am I going?
South.
That's
Away.
right. That's right. You can only go south from the South Pole or north from the North Pole. Once you go an inch either way, you can then go east and west. But when you're right on it, you can only go in one direction. So
You can't lose that much weight to be right on it.
what do you mean? What do you mean I can't lose that much weight?
Well, how would you be right on it?
On
You gotta
what?
be pretty thin.
on the North Pole, you can be right there. You can go up there. People who are they have the North Pole. I've seen this South Pole actually.
It's like 1 foot in diameter.
That's right. That's right. But while you're standing there, if you stand right on it, you can't. The only direction you can go is south.
Well, I got something for you. How about Boris Johnson? Boris Johnson had a domestic dispute last night at his home. Now, Boris Johnson was the mayor of London. Mm-hmm. He is probably in line to be the next prime minister of the UK, and taking over for May. And it seems as though he's dating some woman named, she's not bad looking, named Simons or something like that. And he spilled red wine on her sofa. And there was such an argument that ensued afterwards that the police were called. And,
Justifiable homicide.
yeah, hey, red wine on the sofa. Yeah, that's it. Simons is her name.
There she is.
She's not bad looking.
Yeah, I wish I could go to that picture. People can only see it as
If
one of the
if I talk, you can go to her, right?
Right. Okay. If nobody
Yeah.
else talks, then we can show it.
There's
we
her
go.
picture right there.
Oh, she's very attractive.
Mm-hmm.
But she's going with
Well,
Boris
look,
Johnson, so she must be
if that
she must be a cunt.
yeah,
Well, if all of us remain
if that
quiet,
lady is
Hmm?
if that lady there is willing to date Boris Johnson.
Mhm.
I say beat the bitch's ass. I mean, I don't really know.
I was just going to say, if everyone remains
Come
quiet,
on.
it gives Alex enough time for mental masturbation looking.
Well,
Yeah. Yeah.
she should smarten up and serve white wine.
Yeah. But so he had a domestic dispute over that?
Yeah, and they don't call 911 there; they call 999. And isn't that what's his name? The
Herman
pizza
Cain.
guy's Herman Cain. That was
No,
A neighbor
that's-
told the Guardian that they heard a woman screaming,
No.
followed by slamming and banging.
999 is Angela
666.
Annika Merkel.
No.
Angela,
that's 666.
Angela Merkel's yelling in bed.
Yeah, right.
I was laughing last time you said it.
Thought you were talking about Anton LaVey. 666.
The lady could be heard telling Johnson to get off me and get out of my flat.
Yeah.
Get off my lawn is coming next.
Yeah. Well, it's Phil. It's Phil. He takes as a compliment from a woman in bed. Get off of me, you fat fuck.
Oh,
Yeah.
hey, you missed this one. Leave my flat
She put on
and
his
tell
lotion
Simon
on his-
to get off my fucking
Yeah.
laptop.
Yeah.
And a loud crashing
Let me
noise.
see here. We have an eighth
You know the name of that
person
cream
here.
he used yesterday? I was
Yeah.
going to get it from my mother, actually.
Yeah, it's.
I'm not joking either, because she does have her feet bother her.
The shit works. Let me
Just
look
message it to me. You don't have to tell me on
Yeah,
air.
it's in the living room. All right.
Let's see here. Who just called? Who is that? Let's see.
Jason.
Oh, Jason.
It's
Let me
Friday.
see here. Let's see here. Do we have it? Yeah, there we have him. Okay. All right. We've got Jason. He's here as well. There we go. Hi, Jason. How are you?
Pretty good. Yourself?
Good. Good. Have you been hearing what we've been talking about tonight?
A little bit. I was listening a little bit, kind of watching TV at the same time.
Yeah. Do you have 2 cents worth to put in on this?
I don't know what you've been talking about last 2 minutes because I've been getting set up in my garage.
Yeah,
Should
that's-
Alex apologize?
Yes.
That would never happen. No.
Right.
Oh, I
He's
apologize.
worse than Trump.
I apologize, Phil.
Yeah, when?
To the
I didn't hear it.
I
Can you
apologize
do
to
it
the
again?
I apologize to the audience that they have to put up with you because I allow it.
He's getting a fan base, Phil.
Huh?
Oh, who, Alex?
I don't know. On Alex's page, they were actually saying nice things about you. I was shocked.
Because
You rubbed them the wrong way. But it's
Those are the
actually
people that
Someone
pay
that
Phil.
ugly gets someone so cute. That's what I want to know.
Who? Oh, no. Well,
Boris?
Boris is.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on.
Well, now she does.
Look,
That picture, she doesn't look as good. She looks like she's sucking lemons.
all the
She's
issues
sucking
are
something,
so
that's
look
funny.
like.
Huh?
That's exactly to answer that guy's question. Why is someone so ugly paired with someone so good looking? Well, there's a reason. Money and power. 2 reasons. Money and power.
Oh,
Money
yeah.
That's why
Power,
Harry went for an American.
Do you think, for instance, that what's her name, Melania, would have anything to do with Donald Trump if he didn't have money?
Absolutely
I
not.
don't know.
No way.
He's charming.
Yeah. Right.
Charming to what?
There's-
Satan?
Now there's another.
Hey, he's done all right
now
for
there's-
himself.
now there's
Women-wise.
a-
Look at that Playboy model.
There's another woman who's come forward and said that he
Evidently not enough.
accosted her in a dressing room in where was it?
Oh,
The store that was
yeah.
across the street from him.
It was
Yeah,
her
but
husband.
She's selling a new book too, Alex.
Yeah,
Yeah,
her
I mean-
husband was. Did he work for CBS or one of those things? And he was some announcer or something, I think, with CBS. And there was a picture of Trump, Ivanka, his first wife, and the gal and her husband all together. I remember seeing that today.
Let me see here.
She wasn't bad looking. She kind of looked like the woman who was dating Boris.
I think we have. Hold on a second. Is
Full
this? Wait a minute. I think we have.
E. Jean Carroll.
We have. Let me see here. One more person to put on here. Hold on a second. Where do
Longtime
I do
advice
it?
columnist E. Jean Carroll accuses Trump of sexual assault in
That's
1990.
it.
Here's Alan Kroger. There we go. Al K.
Hey, Full House.
And
Look at that fucking.
We get a full house.
Is that what we would call a full house?
10.
10
I
of
think it's
us.
10. 1, 2, 3,
Yeah.
5.
Well,
Where's Alan?
with
It's
me,
the
it's
Apollo.
10.
Oh, there he is. Okay, now we got 10.
Yeah, so I guess what I should do is I should
Put it up.
We need it.
That would be a full house, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Put it
There
up.
we go, ladies and gentlemen. A full house. There we go. Yeah.
And there's still 45 minutes left in the show.
Yeah, we could go to. We could go to. You could. We could go to the. Where is it?
Royal Flush.
We could go. Well, yeah, we could go to the Royal Flush. That would happen. You know, but I'm not gonna. I can't do that. And we do have something beyond a Royal Flush. Turn
Yeah,
yourself.
that's a surprise, right?
Oh, there we go. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
You want to announce what that is?
What?
What?
Well, beyond the Royal Flush.
Oh no, I won't, because
Okay.
we've never had to do it. But if we have,
Maybe never will.
Need, is it 12?
if we have one more, that's a Royal Flush.
Yeah.
Call it now.
And then if we have one more after that, we have the other thing.
Yeah.
Was that like 3 Jews and 2 Muslims? What is that?
Went to a bar.
Yeah. But anyway. Yeah, we got a full house. It's nice.
Just go to bed already.
Huh?
All right.
What?
Tell her you're off duty.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Driving me crazy.
Hey, Tony, it's overtime. Tell her you want
I
overtime.
know. I get 10 hours.
Time and a half. You want time and a half.
How many?
10 hours a week. 4th of July is time and a half all day.
Time and a half?
On 4th of July, because it's a city holiday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I forgot to tell you that. I was going
In
to tell Shecky next week.
California, I don't know if it's the same
I'm
in New
gonna
York.
flip burgers and get paid.
If you work more than 8 hours a day or 40 hours in a week,
Mm-hmm.
it's time and a half. And if you're doing that on a holiday, I think it's double
time and a
time.
half.
Yeah, I get time and a half.
Let me see here. I have an item here. What is this item? Oh,
She's the best.
I got kind of an interesting little item here that you might find interesting. They are celebrating the 25 years of the Today Show. The Today Show is older than 25 years, but they're doing a retrospective of the
25
last.
years of Studio One.
Is that it?
Yeah, it's 25 years of the Glass Studio in Rockefeller Center.
Yeah,
Any excuse to
and
do
they're doing a recap of all that time, and kind of a tribute to it and so on. Guess who they left out of it?
Matt Lauer.
Matt Lauer. Now, how long was Matt?
He's under a desk.
He was only there 20 of those
It
years.
was only there
right.
20 of those years. Yeah.
They cut him out.
But wait a minute, we got Vernon Nunn calling.
And Kurt.
We got a royal.
Wait a
flush.
minute, hold on a
He
second.
wasn't able to make it. His office door was locked.
Let me see here. I got to get, that would be number 10. So I got to get Vernon Nunn on here. I have to put him in.
Get your
Where's
deck of cards out.
Vernon? I should put my glasses on. It would be easier for me to see this. Okay, there we go. Does that work? Vernon? There we got Vernon. Okay, so let me transition over to so you can see Vernon. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Wait a minute. What happened? Oh, there he is. There's Vernon right there. And that changes this from being a full house, right?
Yeah.
To
a royal
to a royal flush, wouldn't it? Okay, there we are, ladies and gentlemen, a royal flush.
This is great. We're only one away from the New Deal, and did you make it? Do you have that graphic ready?
Oh, I do have that graphic ready,
Oh, okay.
but I can't.
I
I'm
like
not.
Tell someone to call.
Huh?
Yeah.
If one
Yeah,
more
we need
person calls,
One more caller.
we had to.
I would have to think that to help you out, Patrick could call. I mean, I know he's listening. He doesn't do anything all day except sit in that fucking chair. I mean,
Get up off your ass once in a
You
while.
know, I never thought about this, but can we consider Patrick a lazy fuck?
Or Jack could call.
He's rolling around.
Yeah. But if
So-
we get one more, I will be able to, for the first time since I made all this up, be able to add the latest The other thing that we call it when it's, well, that would be, what? How many would that be? That would be
12.
12, yeah. And I can do as many as 13 here. It would be 12 with me. It's 11.
Yeah.
It's 10 up on the screen beside me. So.
What would you call 13 since historically
You can't. What do you mean? 13?
unlucky?
Well, if I get 13, I'll just keep it the same as it would be for 11. But nobody knows what the 11 is because nobody's calling. But if
Well,
somebody
it's 11
else calls,
callers plus yourself is 12.
Yeah.
yes,
right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
You count.
No, wait a minute. Wait, this is. There are 10 people on the screen now. I am the 11th. That's a royal flush.
That's correct.
Okay,
And you
because
get one more. and
10
it's the
is
other thing.
is a full house. Okay.
Next caller get $100 in Gabnet bucks.
Yeah. Well, you know.
There it is.
What if
Country
I
call
call
in
you with
Friday.
another camera?
10, full house.
Hey!
No, it's got to be legit.
12, good
Gotta be
deal, and
legit.
13.
Hey there.
no.
Let me say hello to
Vernon.
let me say hello to Vernon. Hello, Vernon. How are you?
I'm having to use my phone tonight because this stupid computer wouldn't let me download the latest Skype on my desktop.
Why?
I don't know. It says can't connect to the server.
Yeah. Now what you're using is your iPhone, right?
Well, it's an
Is it-
Android.
It's an Android. It's very good camera. Very good camera in that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so I just told the story about Matt Lauer, who, by the way, is selling his home, I guess, so he can share the proceeds with his ex-wife.
Yeah, it's Matt Lauer and Ann Curry were left out of that review.
Yeah, and Curry too.
Ann Curry was left out of it?
That's me now.
Yep.
Why would she be left out of it? She didn't do anything bad.
You're still under the desk.
Wow.
Yeah.
He hosted for 20 years, and all of a sudden he was just vanished.
Well, I don't think he's allowed on the property anymore.
Okay, here we go. Are you ready for this?
Uh-oh.
Now wait a minute. I gotta get this in here so that we can. Let's see here. Yeah, it's Charlene, and let me see if I can. I got to put on my glasses. I can't see where she is. Okay, there she is. I think that's her. I don't know. It's one of those two. Let me see. Is that her? I don't know. No, that's him. Okay, I got it. Well, what it is that it's very similar to Brian's address. Okay, so if I do this,
I see a big flower.
okay, there we go. We should have it. There we go. Wait a minute.
All right.
I don't see her. Are you there?
Turn on your camera,
Charlene,
Charlene.
turn on
Can
your
you hear me?
camera. Turn on your camera.
There she is.
Okay.
Turn on
You
your
gotta turn the
camera.
camera on.
You got to turn on your camera. Otherwise,
Okay,
we can't
let's
see you.
What are you doing, Vernon?
And we can't do what we were. Well, until we see you, we can't do the big deal.
I
here.
see an eye.
No, Charlene, turn on your camera.
Can
Yeah,
you hear
you're
me?
messing it up.
Yeah, Charlene, turn on. There we. Wait a minute. Charlene, turn on your camera.
Turn on my camera.
Huh?
I can see myself on my screen.
No, but you haven't got the camera
Yeah,
on.
turn
on
it
Skype.
off and on
Off
again.
and on again.
Oh, now she's went away.
Oh, well.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna try it.
There you go. It'll start coming now.
I don't think so. I don't
Yeah,
think so.
it's breathing.
No, I don't see it.
Well,
No, we don't have it. We don't have it.
She got to turn on her camera.
She got to turn on her camera.
Well, I'm on the iPhone, so I don't
Yeah,
see anything.
yeah. So
All
you
right, at the
turn.
bottom.
So you turn on the camera.
how come
Turn
I
it
don't
off
see her
and
here?
turn it on the camera.
I can
Hit-
see her.
No, all you can see is her photo.
I see her video.
I don't see her
I
video.
just see a flower with her
Yeah.
face in the middle.
Yeah, me
Oh,
too.
that's not.
I see her
Michael,
now.
you're seeing things.
Should I try to close
No,
back?
I'm seeing her now.
Well,
Maybe
I
it's
mean, you
just
got
gonna
to
take
turn
a
on the
minute for-
camera, and you would have to turn it on
Alex,
then
it's
too.
on. It's on.
Alex, I
do
see her video.
You
I
s-
don't.
It
we
might
don't.
just take a minute for it to go through to everybody.
We don't
Even
see
on
her
Skype.
video.
Has to hit different servers for every caller.
Huh?
Should I call back?
No.
No, because
no.
your phone will
You're
still, the camera will still be off. Yeah, call back. Give that a try. You know.
I swear I saw her.
I didn't see
I
her.
see her
I mean, I
too.
looked
I can see her talking. She's there. It just hasn't hit everybody yet.
I
If
wish I was
patient,
on the
come on.
regular, laptop or
Just,
something. 'Cause I don't
just
think
call
I
us, call us
I s-
back, will
I
you?
see
Well, hang up
Charlene.
on me, Alex, because I don't know how to hang up.
Here, I'll hang up on you.
Okay, hang up on me. Yeah.
How do I hang
The
up?
same
on you?
place.
Wait a minute,
hang up
wait a minute,
on you.
there she
Camera
is.
on
Wait a
off.
minute.
It's funny. I
I
see
th-
Charlene too.
I think maybe we do
Half
have.
of us do.
Oh, there I go. Now we have her.
Yeah, don't turn it off.
Okay, hold on a second. But now we lost. Who did we lose? We lost somebody
Nobody.
else.
Tony just walked away, but he's there.
No,
so-
Yeah,
but,
he's
no,
Tony's
but,
wallpaper.
no, but all I've got.
AL.
We got 12.
No, what I've got is boy.
What you
is
got is
12?
Tony's door.
What I've got is he left us with his
Tony.
screensaver, and that gives me the Skype logo on my thing here. Here
Really, I'm seeing Tony's
here comes
door.
that's his wallpaper.
here comes Ray Renati.
Wow.
Wait a minute, hold on a
Wait,
second.
are we going to hit 13?
Yeah, I think we've hit
Yeah.
13.
So the symbol for 12 is also the symbol for 13.
Well, let's see here. Yeah, where's Ray Renati? Hold on a second.
Here, I think.
Are you there, Ray?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay, let me see here. Let me see if I've got. Ray,
You can
Ray,
delete
Ray,
Tony
Ray,
if you
Ray,
want
come.
and stick
There
Ray
we
in
go.
that spot.
There we go. There we go.
Camera went back
You
down
got
to
Shirley?
No, you're okay. You're all right. Don't worry
All
about
right,
it.
cool.
Don't worry about it. But we don't have your. Again, we don't have a picture on you.
On who? Charlene
On
or Ray?
Ray.
No, I'm right.
Ray, turn.
I got a
I
picture.
don't
Turn
see
your
Ray.
camera
I
on.
can see Ray.
No, we've got his freeze frame.
Oh,
Alex, maybe with this many people, it just takes a minute.
No,
Be patient.
Ray.
Because we
I
saw
see my
Charlene
video,
way
that's all
before.
I
you
No,
did.
I know you see your picture, but
Oh.
we don't see your picture.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying we saw Charlene way before you did.
I
So it
see
just might take a
Charlene
minute for it to flow
YouTube,
through.
but
Yeah.
I don't see her on Skype.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So
yeah.
it may max out at this.
I
no,
see
it, no,
13 of 13.
no, it doesn't. It shouldn't. In fact, we should have a picture on, but we don't. But do you want me to show you guys what happens when we hit this many people?
I think we earned it.
Huh? I think you earned it too. Ladies and gentlemen, here is what you get. Ta-da! It's a jackpot.
Yeah.
Ah, well,
We've
Yeah.
never
Well,
hit a
it'll
Take a
jackpot
few
before.
seconds before I can see it.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm still seeing the royal flush.
Yeah, well, it'll switch in a second.
Give it time.
Give
I
it
can,
time.
I can
I see it now.
I'll see it on my other
Oh,
camera.
it looks like Las Vegas.
Yeah, yeah, it's a jackpot. So that's our. And I have nothing after that. You know.
It's all downhill from here, folks.
Ray, we still don't have a picture on you.
Huh. I don't know. I don't know why.
Huh.
You want? I can try over.
Ray on Skype.
This is cool.
What's cool?
The jackpot.
I can turn video off and then back on.
Yeah, try that, Ray.
All right.
Let's see what happens. You know,
I'm still seeing the royal flush. It's going to take a little time for it.
No,
to
I
come
see
up.
the jackpot. 777.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I like it, Alex.
Yeah. And what? There we go. Now, unknown
jackpot.
person is calling. I can't take another person.
What?
I'm sorry. I can't take another person.
We don't have a screen.
Yeah, I don't. We don't have the room for one more person. I did not create. This is
I
the
think we need a
most.
16 version.
This is actually the most we've ever had on at one time. Although I wish
Yeah,
Tony
it
would
is,
come
yeah.
back and turn his
Yeah.
his camera on. But,
Kill Tony to whoever's calling in.
yeah, but that was an unknown caller, which means it wasn't a Skype call.
Could have been a robocall.
It could be a robocall.
This is Social Security. I work for Microsoft.
Hey, by the way, how many of you have gotten these things now, these robocalls?
I have.
From,
Oh.
well, you don't know what I was
get
going to
them
say,
all the time.
Phil. We've all gotten robocalls, but how many people here have gotten robocalls from Social Security?
Oh yeah. Well, fake Social Security. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And when you try to call them back, the number doesn't even.
Now, my
exist.
question is, why isn't the government going after these people? Because this is
They're another
really,
country.
but
They're offshore.
Well, who knows? They should be doing something to try and block that.
All right, I highly recommend everyone get this app. It's like $2 or $3 a month.
I
It's
highly
called
recommend.
Robo Killer.
I highly recommend that
I have that.
I highly recommend that they don't.
Which
I,
one?
I bought it for a year and it's fucked.
I
Yeah,
bought
they
it too, and I
suck.
still get a zillion robocalls.
Wait a minute, hold on a second. Am I right, Rob? It sucks,
They
right?
all suck. I
yeah, it
tried
sucks.
3 of them. They all suck.
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks
Robo
big
Killer
time.
is the favorite
I
I've tested.
have RoboKiller.
Yeah,
I
but-
have it, but it doesn't work.
But
I mean, I still get a bunch of
here's what
calls.
happens with RoboKiller.
This is the Social Security.
Next moment you receive this automated message. We want you or your retained
Yeah.
attorney of record to return the call.
Oh, that's a different one.
Yeah.
I got that one too.
Yeah, but the thing is that Social Security people, these people should do something about blocking those from coming into the country. I mean,
They can't.
that's a real scam.
No, but they do it over the internet, and it's all local calls. They're using a U.S. company that makes all these auto dials.
I think there's even a feature on my phone or in the Hiya app that will block every call.
But I
that
agree.
Starts with the same area code in exchange.
I agree with Rob. I bought RoboCall and I paid for a year up for it.
Yeah,
$39.
And here's what they do. Somebody calls. I notice that it's not a call I want, so I go decline. And then RoboCall sends me a message saying, you just got a robocall that we intercepted. No, you didn't. I did.
Right. So
And
I
you're
just don't
taking-
answer any phone that I don't know the number.
Yeah.
That's all. It's
Hey,
the
you
same
know-
thing as robocall because
Yeah.
And that's
they
what
all
your
come
provider
through
might
anyway.
be doing.
I made my
Never
own
call us on here.
answer bot. It's just the settings that you chose, Alex, aren't the ones that are the most aggressive. So, for instance, when they call me,
What do you mean
they
I
get
don't? What do
this.
you mean?
This is Phil. Hello.
And then it's dead air.
Yeah, I
And
know.
then I say, I can't hear you.
I've got all that working. What do you mean I don't?
again?
I know, Phil.
And
Phil,
I keep them going for half a minute.
Phil, I've got all that working. Okay,
Yeah.
I've got everything working on it, and it's still a piece of shit. What happens is if this thing really worked, I shouldn't be getting robocalls.
But
Well,
the
nothing works
technology keeps getting around the Robo Killer. You know,
So what good is it? So why bother?
I've got
Because they still
today.
are getting at least 75% of the calls for me.
You
today-
asked
yeah, it is.
Alex
It's
why
getting
the
a
government's
lot of
allowing
calls.
this. Here are two words for you: agit pie.
I knew
is
that
the-
was coming.
Agit
As
pie.
I call him, Sandy Dick Hair Pie, the toilet twat, as you well know by now.
But
Hey, I got today. It said I got a credit card offer. I got a job offer.
Brian was talking,
Health
Phil.
care.
Brian was talking.
Yeah, he gave his agit pie. to me.
No, I wanted to talk to him about Agit Pie.
Oh, enjoy.
What is it you hate about Agit Pie?
Well, I know
Right.
he wasn't Obama. He was appointed by Obama, but he was given more. He was
He wasn't appointed by Obama.
No, he was appointed by Trump.
He was appointed by Trump.
He was elevated to the number one position by Trump.
by Trump. Yes, but he was from what I understand, he was an Obama appointee.
No.
Not in.
Never.
Not as-
Not even as a commissioner before. He
Oh,
was,
really?
No.
Nevertheless.
He was appointed by Trump. Yeah.
Nevertheless, what he's done, all he's done to dismantle net neutrality.
Oh yeah, I mean, he wants to, but he hasn't been able to ruin net neutrality. You know.
at least not in California.
Yeah.
You can't.
Wow.
Nothing has happened with all this net neutrality stuff, and everybody was prancing around and saying that porno wouldn't be available anymore. Nothing has happened.
Because net neutrality hasn't been killed.
Yeah.
Net neutrality hasn't been killed, Phil. Haven't
Net
you
neutrality
heard?
has nothing to do with porno. It has to do with bandwidth.
It was in relation to Alex putting those porn actresses doing
No,
that.
that was a
on
spot that they
neutrality.
did, but
I
the
know.
fact is that net neutrality is still in effect, Phil. Don't you know?
I haven't seen a difference.
What do you mean you haven't seen a difference? Because net neutrality is still in
Nothing's been
effect.
touched. Yeah, it hasn't been touched.
Yeah, some liberal lawyer or judge gave a stay of execution.
Yeah.
But,
Phil, do you actually want to lose?
You want to?
Why do you
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Let Ray say what he was going to say. Ray,
Can you see me? I'm
No,
sorry. Am I still invisible?
I'm still
I
invisible.
can see you.
Yeah.
I see you.
I don't see
Okay.
him. We're not
Phil,
getting.
do
him.
you actually? I just want to make sure I understand this. You actually are against net neutrality?
I don't see why these YouTubers and things like that need the same pipe as somebody that's supplying us with a service like Netflix. I think that these larger services should get the bandwidth.
Why? They have it already.
Well,
They have it already, Phil. Do you get Netflix?
Yeah.
Okay, then they have it, don't they, Phil?
Yeah, but they don't have it to the same.
Oh, well, what
they
extent?
have it to the same extent as you do.
No, what extent do they need it?
Well, obviously, with the more and more content, and that's the way
Phil,
the future is
Rob,
going.
explain. Explain it, Rob.
Why don't we wait to see if we really need that or not?
Yeah.
But then it
You'll
becomes
never
like
know if you need it
television,
if
and
you
then
can't get
we lose the one thing that we have. That's a way for the people to communicate on an equal footing, and then we lose that, and we're back to the way it was before.
And the point, who's your service provider?
What's so great about that?
My service provider for
Internet.
For internet is Wave.
Wave. Okay, so what would happen if Wave didn't want to pay the extra money for you to get good bandwidth through YouTube or good bandwidth through Netflix, and you were getting stuttering video because Wave didn't pay the right amount of money to get that bandwidth, but people who are on AT&T or on Spectrum are getting the bandwidth because they were willing to pay that extra money. You think that's fair?
Well, Wave has got the 1 gig.
You don't know what the fight
is
you're
it
talking about.
fair?
Oh, hold on a second.
Yeah, it's fair.
Hold on.
You get what you pay for.
Jason has had his hand up forever. Just Jason.
Hey, it's also part of a question in the comment. Rob, what is it called that your servers can do for your customers where they can weigh the value of content and speed stuff up and slow it down?
QoS.
But there's another name for it, isn't it?
Quality of service.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that I do disagree with net neutrality right now is they do need to rewrite it because there's companies like AT&T wants to do a quality of service over everything and be able to weigh stuff where a voice conversation needs to be able to get through faster than
you can always wait a minute. You could always do quality of service within your own infrastructure.
Okay, I don't have an infrastructure. I have a modem and I have a computer.
This is not about internal infrastructure.
But it's for everybody overall who doesn't have that kind of infrastructure. If your provider is allowed to be able to do that quality of service for you,
AT&T can on their own, just the way they block the email port. You can't set up your own email server in your house without paying for that. They can block. They could do quality of service on any of that stuff in their own system.
Not with net neutrality.
Nothing to do with net neutrality.
It is because you can't slow something down to speed something up with net neutrality. Everything has to be treated equal.
Right now.
I don't know that. I agree with you.
You can't take a voice
You
conversation
don't understand the bill,
and speed it
then.
up in order to slow down email to open up an email, or even to be able to slow down a video that's gonna have to buffer for 2 seconds to be able to speed up a voice conversation. When half of these voice conversations now are all over VoIP and everything. There's just it's a level that they want to be able to provide a service to their customers that they're not allowed to because of the net neutrality.
So
I wasn't aware that they weren't allowed to do that.
No, they're not. Then that was one of the big things that they were trying to come out with when they were wanting to get rid of net neutrality. And even AT&T was still sitting there and saying that we're not gonna try to block people. We're not gonna be able to, not gonna try to block you from going to Comcast website like Comcast was doing to other people. And that's where it really became a problem, is where some of these providers were blocking you from going to their competitors' websites.
Yeah, I mean, that's easy to do. They have control of the DNS, so they can do that easily. And that's not net, but that has nothing to do with net neutrality.
I disagree because
net neutrality is all about speed and bandwidth, and blocking the competitor's website has nothing to do with that. It's a bad business. No. If AT&T is blocking you from going to Comcast, that's done. Businesses do that all the time, right? If you go to work and you type in porn.com or whatever your porn site is, you're not going to get there.
That's a firewall.
Yes, exactly.
That's not what this is about, Rob. Rob, it's about if AT&T is offering the same service that Netflix is, and they make Netflix choke then they're going to make it look like AT&T is a better service because they have a better pipe.
Right. That's not what we're talking about, though.
That is what net neutrality is about. It's about making
but that's what I'm
bandwidth
saying
equal.
is where your provider could make all video services equal because they're reporting in as being a video service versus they have the ability to slow your email down because you don't need to open up your email at the same speed as you want to watch a video or you want to be able to carry on a conversation with somebody. You know, and they're being stopped from being able to do that with the current net neutrality rulings.
Okay, I'm trying to call.
Based on what you asked me, at this point, it's above my pay grade.
Yeah. Are you still there, Josh, by the way?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, for some reason your picture's not coming through.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're coming through.
He's coming
through
through
Skype. You're coming
Skype,
through on
yeah.
Skype.
I'm not seeing his picture on Skype, oddly enough.
You need a bigger screen.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Oh,
buy that
here
new
we
Apple
go.
screen.
Okay,
About half
I just hung up on Tony because he disappeared, and I want to put, let's see here, Hog Rider, which should be Kevin. Okay, Kevin, there you go. There. Well, is Kevin in there? No, is Kevin in there?
I think so.
This is still a jackpot. Where is the thing?
Well, I've got Kevin here, but I don't have his picture. This is, I think this is.
He was there for a second.
This is about it. Yeah. I
Yeah.
think 12 is it.
Yeah.
Got a full load tonight, huh?
Am I still gone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you hear it?
Wait a minute, Ray. We lost Ray's picture again.
Yeah, but we got his audio.
Are you there, Ray?
Yeah, I am. I turned my camera off and back on again because you couldn't see me. So
yeah. Well, we saw you for a while there, and then, you know.
I see you.
Yeah. Well, I don't see.
Yeah,
you.
I see him too.
I see dead people.
I see dead people.
You know, I went to Yosemite for a couple days, and my wife and I hiked up this really long trail, like 6 miles, super steep, and I fell on this granite on the way down and tweaked my already screwed up knee and had to walk back 6 miles steep downhill. I was like a zombie.
Did you break your Leica?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
But luckily I had
protect
those
the
trekking poles. I used them as crutches. It took me 4.5 hours to get back.
Let me see here. All of a sudden, I've got a full screen on my Skype. This Skype is just. Tonight,
Can you see me?
Yeah, I can. Oh no, I can't see anybody right now. Hold on.
Click on one of the pictures. See if you can turn it
I
on.
was asking you that because I had my hand up. I've had my hand up for a while.
Well, now we got Ray, and
I'm impressed with the multiplexing that's done on the Skype. You can hear a lot of people at the same time.
Brian, you're in a circle, and your position is such that you can't see your hand. Now I see your thumb, but now you can see the hand.
Yeah, so it doesn't take to this many people that well, you know. I'll let everybody see what I mean. See, because we got those Skype things, and those are people who are actually here. I believe.
Is Kevin here?
Is Jason there? Hello, Jason.
Sorry,
yeah, Jason's moving.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see here. Jason's moving. Yeah. Who we got in the number 2 spot? I can't see half of the stuff. I don't remember. Now here comes an unknown person. I don't want to add them at all.
Come on, that could be a royal jackpot.
No, I don't want to push it any further. So we've already pushed it.
I think you'd be a jack shit.
Be the ghost of Ed McMahon saying he won the Publishers Clearinghouse sweepstakes on Skype.
Yes, Brian.
Anyway, damn phone. Anyhow, I just wanted to point out, look this up, and it says here, he's the first Indian American to hold the office, Ajit Pai. It has his middle name, I can't pronounce it. But he has served in various positions at the FCC since being appointed to the commission by President Barack Obama in May 2012 at the recommendation of Mitch McConnell. He was confirmed unanimously by the United States Senate on May 7th, 2012, and was sworn in on May 14th, 2012 for a 5-year term. So he was appointed by a Democrat.
Yeah, on the recommendation
not just the
of
commission.
And he's
McConnell.
gained power through the Republicans.
You said it was Mitch McConnell.
Barack Obama
at
at the
the
recommendation of Mitch
recommendation.
McConnell.
Wasn't Mitch McConnell in charge of the Senate then too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe
So Mitch
think
McConnell
that.
would have had to.
Let me ask a question. Rob, are you still there?
I'm here.
Yeah, yeah.
No, actually, probably wasn't
We're not getting your picture now. It's,
You were right.
This is what happens when we have what?
Too many people.
13
Yeah.
people. Yeah.
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 Overloaded.
Yeah. Well, we just found out why
You blew up Skype.
We blew up Skype. Exactly. Yeah.
I thought you could have 25.
Supposedly you can have 50.
Really?
Yes. I don't know where they all fit.
What would you call 50? A concentration camp?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Oh my God.
No, I just call it half of Hollywood Squares, but I guess your analogy works better.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. But I mean, Kevin, I don't see, and I don't see who is in the number 2 spot. I have no idea now anymore.
Who is VN?
Huh? Let me see
Vernon.
here.
Vernon.
Number 2 spot is Rob. I don't have a picture on him. Okay, and I don't have a picture on. Let me see here. Who is that? Would be number 5. Who would be number 5? I don't have a picture on Josh, and I don't have a picture on Kevin. Yeah, and I have no idea why.
The concentration camp thing has to do with Ocasio-Cortez.
What?
AOC made a statement about concentration.
Yeah, and she was
camps.
absolutely right.
And
Yeah. You're splitting needles.
What?
You're splitting hairs.
Oh, wait a minute, I'm splitting hairs. She was absolutely right.
A camp is one thing, and an internment camp is something else.
No, a concentration camp is a place in which people are put who have to have without benefit of trial, and because of their race.
Yeah, and she was saying that she wasn't talking about the concentration camps in Germany, which is what she was really referring to.
No, she wasn't
She
referring to the.
never used Nazi or Germany.
Talking about ours.
She was calling our.
I just got to look it up again.
She was talking about our camps as a concentration camp, and when they asked her, what did you mean by that exactly? She said, a concentration camp is a place where we inter people without benefit of trial because of their ethnic background.
Well, that sounds like Gabnet with 50 people.
No.
So I guess you guys talked about the report from the HHS this morning.
Wait a minute, Kevin? What about the HHS?
You guys talked about the HHS report from this morning that they were down there this last week. Those 2 camps down in Texas.
No, go ahead. Tell us.
Oh yeah, the one gal was down there, and she said that they were interviewing some of the kids, and they were in onesies that were filthy. Yeah. They were interviewing kids that were peeing in their pants while they were talking to them. They were not being fed. They were not getting soap to clean themselves. It is disgusting.
9-year-old girls
Went for
taking
30
care
days
of a
without
2-year-old
brushing their
baby.
teeth.
That's okay. That's
They're
okay.
kids taking care of kids. What the hell?
That's okay, right, Phil?
Yeah. But you know what? The stock market hit an all-time high today.
Fuck you!
What does that have
Fuck
to do
you!
with
Fuck you!
They're not Jews, so that is not a concentration camp.
And how does that help people? How does that help people? Wait a minute. How does that help people? Who,
So they'd be better
hold on
off
a second.
dying in the desert.
How does that help people who don't own
Hey,
stock?
come on. Just because you're a Democrat, does that mean you have no sense of humor? Did you lose the sense of humor at the voting box?
I lose my sense of humor when you make statements that are totally asinine.
These children are being left by themselves.
It ain't their fault.
They were separated. They were separated. They were separated.
The children are breaking the law? Wow.
There's one other thing.
These are unaccompanied children that you're talking
come
about.
on.
They are not. They're
Some of them are
government.
infants.
Oh.
This is why.
And
By the way,
people are
this
using them just to claim asylum.
That's not true.
They're
I mean, there's a
renting
few
them
people.
for $80.
Bullshit.
That's such
Phil,
racist
Where'd
stuff.
you get that from? WorldNet?
He knows
They're
that.
renting them.
Phil, you know that's not right. You know that's a
Did you
very
get that from
small
Infowars?
number. You know
It's
that.
15% are unaccompanied.
Well, okay, 15%. That's pretty small, even if it's true.
There's thousands of them.
Okay.
Alex, you have permission.
But
to
they,
do
you know, they tore them away from their parents. You know that. I mean, it's
Exactly.
You know that, and they gave it to people all over the country, and they didn't keep a record of it. You know about that, right?
Well, yeah, that was for the first month, and then when they stopped letting them go, because of the is a decision that started with an H. It was a guy's name, and it had to do with how many days they had to hold them, and so now I think what they're doing is they're moving them to different places so that they can get around this 20-day limit. But the government,
it's called the shell game.
The government is not sending anybody down there. Judges, they need judges to give these people due process. And once they get the due process, they'll either be allowed into the country or sent back.
So you're admitting it's a governmental problem?
Yes, caused by the
Who's head of the government?
Caused
my
by
wife today.
Caused by
My wife today.
Donald Trump. Let Rob talk. We're losing everybody's picture, by the way. Go ahead.
My wife today was sworn in as a United States citizen.
Congratulations to her.
Thank you. It was an unbelievably amazing ceremony. There were 43 people there: Iraqis, El Salvadorans, Filipinos, a couple of countries I never heard of, quite frankly.
Any Mexicans?
Mexicans ain't coming here.
There were a couple, I think. I actually have all their names and where they're from. They give you a like a program. It was in a courtroom. We had a judge. They give you. It was one of the most moving ceremonies I have ever been a part of. I expected it to be like DMV, you know. I expected it to be just everybody line up. Okay, here, put your hand, you know, up and repeat the oath. But the judge said so many wonderful, moving things. It was quite amazing. And I left there. Did you go?
It was before I met her.
Oh, okay. I left there with such a warm feeling about this country, you know, and tonight it's kind of been destroyed again, just sitting here listening to everybody. Quite frankly.
I've been to one, and it is.
Hey, Vernon.
Jason has his hand up, Phil.
Who? I can't see. Oh, okay.
Yes, Jason.
It was just a joke. I was going to say, see Phil's girlfriend, another foreigner taking a job that Americans not willing to do.
You know what I have it next week. I have to get it. Is they give you a packet with all kinds of information, and one of the things is a letter from the White House on White House stationery, signed, unfortunately, by Donald Trump. So you got that manic signature in black marker. It looks like Sharpie.
Saying, "Don't even get a ticket, or I'll ship you back."
But you know how you know it's not Donald Trump? It's because and you got to read this letter, because this letter is so wonderful and nice.
Yeah, Obama wrote it.
You know, about family, about. I mean, there's nothing in it that Donald Trump would have said, and it's so the whole, you know. It was a great day. It really was. I met a lot of nice people. I met a lot of nice people. All these people who were, you know, there to become citizens. The judge decided that they want, you know, the judge said, you know what I want to do? We have a handheld microphone, and we're going to give it to people who want to say something. And people were talking about how they got educations, how they're thankful for being here, what they're doing with their lives. And it was just wonderful. I mean, it was a great day.
That's great.
And all these people came legally.
They did. They came legally. They took my wife. Phil got his almost 6 years.
Yeah.
Phil made sure she had her papers before he made her his girl.
No, I walk her. She doesn't use papers.
She had to be a citizen. She couldn't have a green card. She had to be a citizen.
Ray.
I dated a Brazilian gal that had a green card.
Ray.
Yeah, my wife went through that too about 15 years ago. And I didn't go, Rob, because I thought it was going to be like the DMV thing.
Exactly.
And she came back so upset that I didn't go. She wasn't angry with me, but we both thought it was just going to be some boring DMV thing. And she said it was so moving. And everybody else had family with her, and she was all by herself.
Exactly.
And it was one of the big
Everybody had
regrets of my
family.
life. Yeah.
It was amazing, and you missed out. You definitely missed out.
I know.
Yeah.
And it makes you proud of the country, where I haven't been proud of this country in a while.
Yep.
It used to be what this country was about. until
It still
Trump got
is.
in there.
The things that no, it's not, because the things that come out of the White House, the things that come out of this administration are the antithesis of what went on in that courtroom today.
Now it's giving me your educated, your privileged, your people who come
it's
here
give
with
me
money already.
People that want to come here that are willing to go through the process and not jump in the front of the line.
Then go back to the way it was when your ancestors came over here. Just sign your name in a book and you can go to work.
No, because they had to have people sponsor them. They had to have a place to go. They had to be self-sufficient.
No, they didn't. They came over to Ellis Island and signed
My
the book,
parents-
and then
my
if they were
parents-
Yeah, there
healthy,
was
they
no
went over to New York.
There was no welfare. There was no, all of these services.
If you look at statistics that these illegals, basically all the illegals, they don't take welfare because they can't get it.
Right.
They make money.
In San Francisco, they are given it without question. If they, because nobody will ask them a citizenship question.
Well, that's San Francisco. I know my grandparent or my grandmother came over here as an illegal. She never took any welfare.
She's an illegal?
She was
telling
illegal.
ICE.
I'll have to dig her up now.
It's funny how many people come to these things. The two state senators sent delegates from their office to greet everybody. The Elks Club handed out big American flags to everybody.
Did they do it in Virginia? Or
yeah,
in
we did it in
Washington?
no, we did it in Harrisonburg, Virginia, in a courtroom that federal district court in
Rob,
Harrisonburg.
how long was she working on it? Getting her.
We're going to be married 6 years this September. So from fiance visa, which was before we were married,
Oh,
until
you're like the
now.
90 Day Fiance then.
What's that?
That show, 90 Day Fiance. Is the
Oh,
fiance.
yes. I don't
My
know.
husband,
not a
I
6
loved
year.
that show.
But
Hey, Rob,
it was about
every
6.5 years. 6.5
How much
years.
does it cost you?
I didn't even. You mean today was free? There's no charge. All the
over
different
the
fees.
6 years.
It's expensive.
It's pretty expensive.
So you're tired, you're weak, you're hungry, huddled masses. They can't usually afford it.
And
Well,
the
that's
poor,
true.
which is what
That's
you'll be
true.
after this.
And that's who should.
When she gets half, Eddie.
You should be bringing in the people who are going to work at the bottom and work their way up.
Well, there's nothing wrong
stop
with bringing in
these
guys like
lawyers,
Albert
these
Einstein.
engineers. Fine. And why did he come to America?
He was fleeing from oppression in Germany.
And he was one of the
Same as
lucky.
these
He
other
was one of the
people.
lucky Jews that was able to get in this country because we were turning away Jews.
And probably rightfully so.
Damn, man, you hate your own.
Nah, I'm only
No,
kidding.
he thinks
I'm only
he's
saying
being,
stuff to
he
piss you
thinks
off.
he's being funny. Listen, I want to say to everybody who's watching, you're going to notice that there are 5 Skype logos up there because for some reason we lost the picture on these people, so we know what the limits are of this fucking system.
I saw mine was stopped. I just stopped my video and started it again, and it came back up.
It came back up. Yeah.
I tried that. That didn't work.
Yeah.
Mike is not showing up on the Skype. He's I don't know. I don't see him on the. I see him on the NDI thing from 30 seconds ago, but I've got a MK on my Skype screen.
Do you guys have me by any chance?
No,
or?
we don't
Yeah, I
see
got
you.
you.
No.
Oh, I just wanted to say.
I don't
since-
see you. I don't see you.
Okay, well, since the end of the show, I just want to let you know I won't be able to call maybe for another week, 10 days. We're going on a trip, so I'll be traveling, so I don't think I'll be able to call
Well,
in.
have a nice trip. We'll miss
Yeah,
you.
Your cell phone.
Yeah,
I
I
miss
might.
you.
I
Oh,
might
hey.
be able, I mean, we'll be in hotels. I might be able to. You never know.
I got it.
Where you going?
We're going out west, like Mount Rushmore, Montana, Yellowstone, that kind of stuff.
Very nice.
Okay, well, there's the theme. Hey, everybody, there's the theme. There are so many of you. This is what a jackpot looks like. But I have to thank everybody for being here. I'm not going to say all of you because I'm running late now. But everybody, thank you so much and let's not do this again. Okay? Everybody, give a big wave goodbye, would you, who's there, who they can see, and the rest of you, we're waving goodbye at you. Anyway, that's our citizens panel for tonight. Boy, we've never done that many people at one time, okay? And so it was as we call in this business, it's actually a technical term. It's called a cluster fuck. Anyway, that's it for tonight. I'm Alex Bennett. Up next is the Intersection with Jack Bishop. We'll be back here right after Damian Chaplin does the exchange on Tuesday. Same time, same station in life. And as always, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? Bye-bye, everybody. Have a nice weekend.